back again. Yeah. Probably noticed a change in the upload schedule. Yeah, I'm finally talking about that. Yeah, we're just trying something different. You know, it's kind of hard to think of things to come up with in a concise manner for, 6 out of the 7 days a week. And then another music video got taken down. And it was because of the same reason. It's for an album cover. That's 2 album covers that have gotten me warnings. And the video was taken down. So, yeah, we're changing that too. From what to what, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. I'm not dead. I'm not in jail. Ooh, that's got to be louder, don't you think, Cat? Yeah, it's a live recording of coffins. Coffins, sacrifice to evil spirit. So track 5, The Unspeakable Pain. I'm just going to listen to that down because it's the live stuff. The other stuff's good. Yeah, it's worth a listen, but for the purposes of this video. Those dudes right there. They're the guys. The 3 Japanese dudes. I don't know. I really like... this is kind of doomy. This is Doom, right? I would think this is Doom. This feels like Doom. But it's also like Mortician, in a way. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that logo, that badass logo. There they are again. I don't know. I like the way these guys do their metal. Sludgy. Not so much doom, but sludge. Loud and putting yourself into it, man. That's right. So, somebody asked me a while back to bring up, it's Monochrome. Monochrome asked me to bring up the religion of science. I talked about South Park episode with the otters, and it's supposed to be Battlestar Galactica or one of those shows, but a parody of that. And they were all religious fanatics, but they said science. My science and your science. Like our science, their science. So they replaced every religious word with science. I'm turning that down a little bit. It's badass, but it's hard to yell over. Coffins, sacrifice to evil spirit. Shit's fucking awesome. I got coffins in my playlist, several times, I know. So anyways, that religion of science. Damn. That religion of science. That's kind of what we're going to think about. I think we're sold a bill of goods on the science. I think you're just convinced that, yep, that's the answer we got. But, there's other people that disagree with you. What do they say? It's like, well, we don't want to hear from them anymore. The science is settled. It's like, man, that's Weird talk right there. The science is settled. I think we should always be learning, even about things we're so certain about. How certain are you? What was that? In The Empire Strikes Back, you know, Yoda wanted Luke to lift that fucking X-Wing and shit. He was like, I can't, it's too big. He was like, so certain are you? It's like, size matters not. Something like that, right? Yeah. Then he just lifts the damn thing up and moves it. Like, how did I do that? You know, you couldn't, and here I am doing it. How did I do that? Yeah, so we should always learn more. Not saying you're going to be able to do shit like that, but even a guy who's really smart and capable, even he has moments of like, can we even do that? Is that? Yeah. So RFK Jr. finally cleared the air and said nicotine does not cause cancer. Yep, Big Pharma, the CDC, what's that other one? Health Service, we have a health service. Health and Human Services, is that the one? I think there's another one I'm missing. They've all been like, yep, cigarettes are bad for you. And people have been like, how and in what way? And they're like, well, they do these things. And then people have been like, yeah, no, they don't. Yeah, no, they make you sick. They make you sick. It's like, yeah, well, we're seeing not as many cases as you think you would. So people are like, but smoking's bad for you, right? It's like, well, not exactly. He says, this is him, not me. Says the pouches are the safest. Oh yeah, those little. You ever had those pouches? You stick them in your mouth and you don't have to spit. It's just like sucking on a piece of candy. That's like a tea. It's like a tea bag. It's like a little miniature tea bag that just lets out a little bit enough of nicotine that you can get a buzz, but not too much of one, and then you don't generate that excess stuff that you don't want to. You know, spit it out. You know, like the dip. So it says the pouch is safest. I've done them. I don't still do them, but I have done them. So they're the safest, and vapes are second best. Like vaping, I don't know. We were told that like vaping was like not the greatest thing for you. Okay, maybe they're wrong about that, because I thought the science was settled on vapes. I thought vapes were bad. And he's saying no, actually they're not that bad for you. It's like, okay. So, and then it's vape second best instead of cigarettes. So it was like cigarettes third. I'm just wondering, because you got dip and cigarettes after that, and then you got various types of dip. You ever met them old farmers and them real old country people? Their dip is like this resin stick. It's like a stick of resin, and they'll take a knife and wedge a piece off, and then just gnaw on it. And it's like nicotine resin, tobacco resin, so just super packed with nicotine. Man, them dudes will fucking start chewing on them things and then be like high as a kite within a few minutes, and they're like, yeah, don't do this if you've never like dipped before, because these are like, oh, we don't even dip anymore, we just chew on this resin. Oh man, that's crazy. I never did it. I wanted to so bad, but even he was like, no, if you're not used to dipping, don't do this, because it's just gonna, you won't like it, you know, it'll just fuck you up. So anyways, RFK Jr. continuing saying nicotine itself does not cause the cancer. There's no evidence that it's carcinogenic at all. So, yeah, okay, cancer. It's not nicotine. The primary ingredient. That's not the primary ingredient, or the active ingredient, I think is what that is. The active one. The one that goes stale, because the nicotine does go stale. And then it's almost unusable. You can smoke it, but it wouldn't do anything for you. So, what else is going on there? What else is going on? Oh, the lung cancer? I don't think lung cancer really even had anything to do with cigarettes. I've known people with lung cancer, and I've heard of other people getting lung cancer, and smoking was never the factor. I've heard of mining, I've heard of diesel mechanics. Well, not even diesel mechanics, but people that were like around buses a lot, like bus barns and shit. I've heard of those people getting lung cancer. Miners, that's a big one. Without a well-ventilated shaft, you're going to die of like some real toxic gases underground. Yeah. So, and then just chemical exposure. Certain types of chemical exposure can do that. So, yeah. Nicotine itself does not cause cancer. Man, there it is, dude. Dude's already like... Oh, it's funny, he went up to fucking get the CDC, was like, okay, CDC, here's how we're really doing business. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to do that shit. And he was like, okay, cool. He phone called Trump, and Trump was like, all right, y'all are all fired. Everyone that just spoke up, you're all gone. They walked out. And, oh, the people are going to sue, whatever. This is a long list of this has happened to somebody else, and then nothing was done about it. Judge blocks a thing, continues on a week later, because they overrule that judge. Group of people get fired. They start looking for other jobs. Yeah. I just enjoy that because these are the people that told you to learn to code. These are the people that told you, your trade is no longer useful or something like that, or it's being shipped overseas, or, your skills are no longer needed here, unless you want to modify them to this thing that we know you're not going to do. Yeah. So those people said that. They're the ones who told all of y'all that. And they're the ones now looking for a job. So there's a little bit of plus side there. Those people that have been making your life difficult, well, guess what? Their lives are now really difficult. Think about hiring somebody who was one of those people. You probably wouldn't do it. Where was that lady? She pretended to be black, Rachel Dolezal. Does anybody remember that chick? She pretended to be black, but she just dyed her skin and got a weird haircut and a fro or something like that done to her hair. And she was like, oh yeah, as a black woman to black woman, and you find out like she had white ass parents and shit. Yeah, it was tough for her getting a job after that. Yeah, who wants to hire that? Not even. I mean, you have to go to McDonald's. You have to go all the way down. And those people are the elites, dude. Like it doesn't cross their mind to ever get a job. Like pushing a lawnmower or working fast food. Like it has never occurred to them to do that. That's how far above you they are. And now they're the ones feeling the pain. And boy, they are feeling it. And that's awesome. We need that. That's cathartic. The people that have been making me and you, ain't nobody in this audience above all this shit. People like that exist, but I doubt you're in my audience. My audience, you're probably the real motherfuckers getting through this shit. Like trying to get through a dangerous territory. Surrounded by hostiles. Well, my friends, those hostiles are having bad days. They've been having a lot of bad days. And they're going to continue to have bad days until there's none of them left. Whew. If you're listening to me and you're not one of them, then, and I highly doubt you are. That's who I'm speaking to, really. And people that like coffins. There's two kinds of people. People that listen to coffins and people that have heard of it. And people who don't know it. So there's actually three people. So, anyways, like I said, this was science as a religion, People have been telling us what to do, what to think, and they always will. People always attempt to manipulate how you think and feel. And you're almost always being sold something by somebody. That's it, man. I heard a saying the other day. A job interview is a competition between two liars. I'm like, oh my God, I have seen that one way too many times. Way too many times have I been in a job interview where that guy who's like trying to hire you is lying to you. He is lying. Oh, you don't know what he's lying about, but you know he's lying. I had another one, which I even figured out this one time they were lying to me so bad, I actually figured out what they were lying about. Because I asked them, I was like, well, what about this thing? And they're like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, because that normally is a problem for some people. No, I've never had a problem with it. Yeah, that's probably what the bad part of this job is dealing with that. I declined. That job would have paid a lot, but I did not want to deal with the bullshit. I know people that have done that job and taken that bullshit, and fuck all that. Fuck all that. Your money ain't worth it sometimes, y'all. Sometimes it ain't worth it. Well, y'all ever see that not Pitch Black? Y'all think of Chronicles of Riddick. Chronicles of Riddick. Where that dude Toombs, the bounty hunter, like, the beginning of the movie, the end of the movie, he says the same thing, I should have taken the money. Or, like, they tell him, you should have taken the money, Toombs. For me, it was like the opposite. It was like, ooh, don't take that sweet little pot. But I knew too many people that took that money, you know, took that money and tried to... Whatever. Coffins. Oh, shit. Michael Jackson. A lot of y'all talking about Michael Jackson. I didn't realize Michael Jackson would bring up so many ears. But it's weird when Michael Jackson brings up an ears when people want to talk about Michael Jackson. That's so weird. I don't know, I just find that weird. Has anybody heard, like, there's 3 competing theories about what happened to Michael Jackson. And you're told to believe he was a dude who did bad things. And then you find out very quickly that those were false accusations based off some other circumstantial evidence. And there was a lot of hearsay, and that's why it was all settled out of court. Because it was a cash grab, and a very well concocted one. Now, to have that level of attack on someone, you know, there has to be a reason for that. Nobody just does that without a payout. 20 million was on the table. That was 20 million back in like 1990s dollars. That is 20 million was a hell of a lot more money than it is today. Hell of a lot more. It's like $100 million payout today. You know, it'd be the equivalent of just like an insane amount of money. You're like, I didn't know people just had that money lying around that they could just drop it. But anyways, one of the things was his death was a hoax, and he was basically exiled. And it's like, and that Elvis is still alive, the Elvis impersonators. Whether you believe that or not, that was actually part of the psyop to get you used to that nonsense right there. Apparently, these people faking their deaths, they've been doing that for like generations. Like, it's just a thing they do. Like, one of them just hates the job so much and wants to retire, so they fake their death and then dip. And it's just, you know, like, a lot of people know it's not true, but they're like, they did so good at dipping, they can't find them anymore. Like, they literally left. So that's one theory. I always thought that was it. Then we got number 2, Sony murder plot. They thought it was a corporate assassination for catalog control, which occurred afterwards. So you just have to follow the money. It was like, that benefited Sony a lot. Because they were, Michael Jackson was going to reclaim the masters, and then Sony wouldn't make any money off that recording unless you just wanted that one from Sony. And Sony knew you weren't going to come to Sony to buy these things anymore. You were going to go to the new license holder. So they got to hang on to that until the family estate could be settled. And then another party takes control, which somehow also benefited Sony, because that person worked directly with Sony. It was like, oh, fuck it. They benefited a lot from Michael Jackson's death. So, makes you wonder. And then there's number 3. Biological paternity deception. Jackson's children as elite genetic constructs. That's the one I didn't know about. I was like, oh, he was from a family of people that had cloned children to get desired results. It's like, interesting. Genetic manipulation of the human genome and then releasing it into the wild. And then breeding it with the population to see what you could do. You know, myth, they would say, like, the gods started altering human and animals. You know? Because it's the elites. In myths, they would have been the living gods. Because science, you know, and religion were kind of synonymous. The person doing the thing was considered a wizard doing it, and then eventually a god doing it. Depending on how powerful they got. You know, they got so powerful that entire cultures and generations later, they still believe that stuff. Yeah, a lot of myths. That's how a lot of myths are born. So yeah, the gods are meddling in the human genome and genetic constructs of people. Has some really dark implications, y'all. I really don't want to think about how bad that could get. If you were just like, oh, we're just mixing people. What's to stop these people from mixing animals? Well, just so you know, there's pigs that they have given human DNA so that their heart valves are better for heart transplants and heart valve transplants in humans. Like, it's a valve problem, and they can replace those, and they get them from pigs because they adapt real well to our hearts for some reason. We're just close enough there in the core that, like, our hearts operate the same, that their valve works with ours. But there is some rejections. So they start breeding the pigs with human DNA. How the fuck to get in there, I don't even want to think about. And they start breeding those pigs to have that heart valve that would go into a human. Yep. Human-animal hybrids are fucking real. Nat Geo, National Geographic, and BBC both reported on it. You can read that in mainstream media. Alex Jones told us about it when they did that. He was like, oh, by the way, and he started talking about that genetic chimera shit for forever. He kept talking about that. Kind of in the background. Then it kind of became a joke with the reptilians and shit. But it makes you wonder, like, humans breeding themselves with, like, lizard DNA, and all of a sudden they live 1,000 fucking years. Like, how fucking scary is that? And you think about Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur fighting fucking dragons. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, was that real? Like, did humans, like, figure out how to do that? And then these fuckers just live, like, an insane amount of time, buried beneath the earth, and they come out every now and then. They're like, oh, I'm a scary monster, you gotta fight. Holy shit! We live in exciting fucking times, y'all. We live in exciting fucking times. I love video games, and I love playing them, but these days, I don't have time for it for a multitude of reasons. One of which is reality is so much stranger than fiction these days. The things I hear in the weird places on the internet, on the normie internet, just the weird people out there on the internet, and then, oh, Jesus, man, it's exciting to be alive. It's like, oh, I want to play a video game. What are you doing in this video game? This thing, I'm bored. Let's watch Twitter some more. Let's watch X go by. Let's go look at the normie news and see what they're talking about. Hell, just look up weird combinations of shit on Google. You'd be surprised. Like, it's like that Rule 43, but for, like, science fiction, cyberpunk, dystopian, nightmare bullshit. Yeah, we need a term like Rule 43 or something. Or was it Rule 34? Rule 34. I don't know. I don't remember all that internet lingo. Holy crap. It's like 23 minutes. Well, anyways, weird Michael Jackson stuff. Who's into that stuff? Comment down below. Let's talk. Let's keep this conversation going with weird stuff. What do y'all weird stuff y'all want to talk about? Let's talk about it. Oh yeah. That was Coffins. Sacrifice to Evil Spirit. And I'm Cattle Pride, Appalachian Warlord. We'll see y'all next time.